want to bring in now the mayor of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. His name is Mayor Johnny Dupree, and we're glad to have him on the phone. Mayor Dupree, can you hear us?
I can hear you, yes.
Well, first of all, our condolences. It's a horrifying act. The nation is watching and sad about what happened in your city last night. Do you know anything about the third person just arrested in these murders?
Yes, I just found out that the third person was a female, Miss Jonah Calloway. She's been charged with capital murder as well as the Mr. Marvin Banks with 2 counts of capital murder.
This is, as Elizabeth mentioned, the first time in 30 years that this has happened in that city.
On the heels of Mother's Day today, no mother wants to bury a child. And then this is the week that we celebrate the lives of other fallen police officers. It's just horrific, and we hope no community has to go through this. We have a great community here in Hattiesburg, and that's why within hours we were able to apprehend these suspects and have them in custody right now.
There's been a lot of attention. There's been a lot of attention on the violence against police officers and vice versa in recent weeks, of course. Take a look at the number of officers, the law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty in 2014. 117 law enforcement officers killed, a total of 1,400 over the past 10 years. How can politicians like yourselves, mayors of these towns, begin to try to heal these wounds across the country?
Well, again, I think it has to do with community policing. I think that it has to do with our communities coming together, working hand in hand with our police department. That's what we do here in Hattiesburg, and that's why we were able to apprehend them. We're also looking at every avenue that we can to train our police officers to make sure that they are alert, to make sure that they go back to their training, because they all train well, and make sure that we use every incident as one that we can train other police officers to make sure that when they leave home, that they do come back home.
Mayor, I know you've said that these are your 2 best officers, or 2 of the best officers in your community. Can you tell us a little bit about these 2 individuals so that we can remember them today?
Well, one of the officers, of course, LaCroix Tate, is almost 2 years on the force. Just a great personality. You can see that he smiled. It's a sensuous smile all the time, and just loved all his officers in the community. Officer Dean, over a 5-year veteran, he was a K-9 officer. He leaves to mourn him, his mother and his wife and 2 children. Officer Tate also leaves to mourn his mother and father and 3 siblings. They were just terrific individuals. They epitomized what you talk about community policing. They were some of the best we have. Our hearts go out to the family members. We were with them until about 2 or 3 this morning, and we're doing everything we can to console them and let the community know that we do love them and that we care for them.
Mr. Mayor, do we have any sense of why these 2 men were murdered? Any guess at motive?
No, I wish I did. If we had motives, we do those kinds of things, maybe we could stop them. But this was nothing routine, as we would say. But this was a routine traffic stop, and the officer called for backup because of something he saw. And then the other Officer Tate, showed. And for whatever reason, and we think maybe because he was a felon and had a gun, that quite possibly was a reason that this happened.
If you're just waking up with us this morning, 2 police officers in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, gunned down during what was known as a routine traffic stop. And Mr. Mayor, we hear all the time from officers there's no such thing as a routine traffic stop, right?
That's correct. I say routine, and I lace it with there's no such thing, because you never know. In this day and age, Mississippi just passed last year, a couple of years ago, a concealed weapons law where you could carry your gun outside without a license, and now you can this past one where you can have it concealed in your purse or your briefcase. People just have to be. Our police officers have to be real vigilant now, especially with what's going on around our country. The vast majority of our police officers are excellent police officers. They go out there every day to protect us, to make sure that we go back home. We come back home the same way we leave. And for whatever reason, we're passing some kind of laws that I don't think are good for our country.
Mayor, what is your message for our president? How do we get back to a point where all communities can work together with law enforcement?
Well, I think that you have to do best practices. I think you look around in our community and you look and see who's doing the best job. You know, we solve our problems, we solve our crimes quickly. You know, and we do that because our community works with our police department. They know that they want to live in a community that's free of crime. That is not something that we probably is not going to happen. But we do our best to live in a community that's free of crime. And if crime does occur, that we do our best to make sure that we catch those perpetrators. And I think as we continue to work together, we have to be vigilant with it. We go out and talk with people daily about how we can make our communities better. And the community policing is the way to do it.
There have been some national folks, the likes of Al Sharpton, in recent weeks calling for basically a federalization of our police departments, having the federal government step in. Do you disagree with that position, or do you agree?
Oh, I don't have. I've not heard this. First time I've heard that. We do an excellent job here in Hattiesburg of taking care of the people and the residents here in Hattiesburg about federalization. I think we do a great job at what we do here. But that's not to be. Although I said it, because the federal government, the state agency, police agencies came in, Mississippi Bureau of Investigation is handling the investigation. So that because they were our police officers, we don't want to taint the prosecution of them. Local agencies around us came in to help us. I think we all have to work together. I think that's the way you solve it, is we all work together to make sure that we're doing the best we can in our communities, because we know our communities better than anybody else.
Well said.
Of course you do. Thanks a lot, Mr. Mayor, for joining us this morning. Mayor Johnny Dupree of Hattiesburg, Mississippi, on the phone with us live. We appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Please have the United States, all of us, pray for these families and police officers around our country, and that they're safe.
Yeah, many people waking up to go to church this morning with their moms on Mother's Day, so we'll definitely remember these officers in our prayers today.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you so much, Mayor.